You are tuning into DNA Nightmares. Some secrets should stay buried, but today they are coming out. Before we reveal the results, please hit the like button and subscribe for good karma. You won't believe this twist. I never thought I'd be in a situation like this. 2 months ago, I decided to take a DNA test to learn more about my ancestry and potential health predispositions. The company, GeneTrace Solutions, seemed legitimate with their sleek website and thousands of positive reviews. I paid $199 for their premium heritage package and eagerly awaited my results. When the email finally arrived, I was thrilled. According to the test, I was 45% Eastern European, 30% Scandinavian, and had an interesting mix of other ethnicities. The health report suggested I had a higher risk for certain conditions, which prompted me to make some lifestyle changes and even schedule additional medical screenings. Everything changed last week when I received an unexpected call from the FBI. An agent informed me that GeneTrace Solutions was under investigation for fraud. Apparently, they'd been sending out completely fabricated results to thousands of customers. The company never actually performed any DNA testing. They were just generating random ethnicity percentages and generic health reports. I felt sick to my stomach. All those changes I'd made to my life, the worried conversations with my family about potential health risks, and the proud social media posts about my supposed Viking ancestry, it was all based on lies. The worst part, the company had already shut down their website and disappeared with everyone's money, and, more disturbingly, our DNA samples. When I tried to contact my credit card company for a refund, they told me it was too late to dispute the charge. The local consumer protection agency added my complaint to their growing pile, but warned me that recovery of funds was unlikely since the company's owners had apparently fled the country. I joined a Facebook group for other victims of the scam, and the stories there were heartbreaking. Some people had made major medical decisions based on false health reports. Others had reached out to supposed relatives who turned out to have no genetic connection to them at all. One woman had even traveled to Norway to connect with her roots, only to learn now that she might not have any Scandinavian heritage at all. The FBI agent assigned to my case advised me to monitor my credit reports carefully, as the company had all our personal information, including social security numbers and medical histories. She also recommended filing a report with the FTC and warning others about this scam. Now I'm left wondering what to do next. Should I try another DNA testing company, one with a more established reputation, or has this experience completely destroyed my trust in these services? More importantly, what happened to our DNA samples? The thought that some fraudulent company has access to my genetic material keeps me up at night. The whole situation feels like a violation, not just of my wallet, but of my identity itself. I thought I was uncovering the truth about my origins, but instead, I became another victim in an elaborate scheme that preyed on people's natural curiosity about their heritage. After several sleepless nights, I decided to take action. The first step was reaching out to a lawyer who specializes in consumer fraud cases. During our initial consultation, she explained that while individual lawsuits might be challenging, there was potential for a class action lawsuit against GeneTrace Solutions. Several other victims had already contacted her firm with similar stories. I also started doing extensive research on legitimate DNA testing companies. This time, I wasn't going to make the same mistake. I spent hours reading scientific journals, checking credentials, and verifying company registrations. The more I learned, the more I realized how naive I had been about the whole process. Real DNA testing companies have strict protocols, certifications, and transparent privacy policies. The support group I found online proved invaluable. We shared resources, warnings, and coping strategies. One member, a genetic counselor, offered free consultations to help us understand what legitimate DNA testing should look like. She explained that reputable companies are registered with organizations like CLIA, Clinical Laboratory Improvement Amendments, and CAP, College of American Pathologists. My next step was damage control. I had to contact several doctors to explain that the health risks I'd previously discussed with them were based on fraudulent information. Thankfully, they were understanding, though they recommended some basic health screenings just to be safe. The unnecessary worry I had caused my family about potential genetic conditions was harder to address. The FBI investigation continued to uncover disturbing details. It turned out that GeneTrace Solutions had been operating under various names for years, changing their company title whenever too many complaints accumulated. They had targeted specific demographics through social media advertising, particularly during holiday seasons when people were more likely to purchase DNA tests as gifts. I worked with cybersecurity experts to secure my personal information. They helped me set up advanced identity theft protection and showed me how to monitor the dark web for any signs that my genetic data or personal information was being sold. It was expensive, but the peace of mind was worth it. Perhaps the most positive outcome of this ordeal was my newfound mission to educate others. I started a blog documenting my experience and providing resources for verifying DNA testing services. The response was overwhelming. Dozens of people reached out with similar stories or to thank me for preventing them from falling for similar scams. Today, I'm cautiously optimistic about trying another DNA test, this time with a well-established company that has proper certifications and a long history of legitimate operations. I've learned that 23andMe and Ancestry DNA, while not perfect, have robust privacy policies and are transparent about their testing procedures. The whole experience has taught me valuable lessons about due diligence and the importance of research before trusting any company with something as personal as genetic information. While I'm still angry about being scammed, I'm channeling that energy into helping others avoid the same mistake and fighting for stronger regulations in the genetic testing industry. 6 months have passed since the GeneTrace Solutions scandal, and things are finally starting to look up. The class action lawsuit I joined has gained significant traction, with over 5,000 victims now represented. While we may never recover all our money, our lawyers believe we have a strong case, especially since they've traced some of the company's assets to offshore accounts. I finally gathered the courage to try another DNA test, this time with a reputable company. The experience was completely different. They provided detailed information about their lab certifications, security measures, and testing procedures. The kit came with clear instructions and proper safety seals. Most importantly, they were transparent about how they would use and protect my genetic information. The legitimate results arrived last week, and they were eye-opening. Unlike the fake report from GeneTrace Solutions, these results included raw genetic data that I could download and verify. My actual ancestry was quite different from what the fraudulent test had claimed. I discovered genuine connections to regions and cultures I knew nothing about. The health reports were also more nuanced, with detailed explanations and recommendations to consult healthcare professionals before making any medical decisions. The FBI investigation has made significant progress. 2 of the main perpetrators were arrested in Malaysia last month, and authorities are working on extraditing them. They found evidence that the company had been operating similar scams in multiple countries using different names and websites. The total fraud is estimated to exceed $10 million. My blog about DNA testing fraud has grown into a small but active community. We've helped identify several other questionable testing companies and worked with consumer protection agencies to shut them down. I've even been invited to speak at consumer awareness seminars, sharing my experience to help others avoid similar scams. The emotional impact of the fraud has lessened, but I'm still careful about sharing personal information online. The cybersecurity measures I put in place have already prevented several attempts at identity theft. It's sobering to realize how vulnerable our personal data can be, especially when it comes to something as intimate as genetic information. The support group has evolved into an advocacy organization. We're working with lawmakers to push for stricter regulations on genetic testing companies. Our main goals include mandatory certification, regular audits, and clearer guidelines for handling genetic data. Several state representatives have shown interest in our proposals. Looking back, I can see how this experience has changed me. I'm more skeptical now, but also more informed. I understand the importance of doing thorough research before trusting any company with sensitive information. The ordeal has also connected me with amazing people who turned their negative experiences into positive action. The future of genetic testing looks both promising and challenging. As technology advances, we'll need to stay vigilant about protecting our genetic privacy while still benefiting from the incredible insights DNA analysis can provide. I'm proud to be part of the movement working to make this industry safer and more transparent for everyone. Sometimes I think about how different things might have been if I'd never taken that first fraudulent test. But then I remember all the positive changes that came from this experience. And I realize that sometimes our worst experiences can lead to our most meaningful contributions to society.